All right, you all, welcome to the episode with Peter Roth. Peter Roth is a good man. Went out to dinner with him last night. We had a great time, smoked cigars. This guy's been an entrepreneur. He's built businesses. He's owned cigar distributorships. He's supplied a lot of businesses with their cigars, a lot of people in Vegas, a lot of businesses in Colorado. He's distributed cigars all around the world. He's switched careers. He's here to tell me about it, and we're going to have a great podcast. So pay attention to this one. It's going to be a good one. What's going on, Peter?
Man, this is a good cigar. I like this a lot.
Hey, man, for a cheap stick.
I mean, this is really fantastic. Yeah. I'm a cheap date, though, when it comes to cigars and booze. As I told you last night, I have a very undiscerning palate, so I kind of like it all. So.
Yeah, but you've sold cigars that are $200 and $500 and whatever. But
I've had them all.
This $10 stick, I mean, to smoke a daily cigar, right?
If you swapped bands with this and put it onto an expensive cigar, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's great.
So you're a man that's been in an industry where taste matters and quality matters, but you actually don't have the taste to discern, which is wild.
True. Yeah, that's pretty true.
All right, so take me back. Take me back whenever you started your career and you got into the cigar business, and you still own a cigar distribution business. Yeah. Take me back to where that started.
Yeah, man, it was the very first thing I did out of college, dude. Like, as soon as I got out of college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do. The only thing that I did know right when I got out of college, very, very acutely remember that I definitely didn't want to work for someone else. Because I had one real job my whole life, and it was pretty much right out of college. It lasted for literally 3 months. It was my one real office job that I ever had. Of course, I got fired from it. I didn't last very long. Because the whole time I was there, I was already planning what business I was going to start. And I was 23 at the time. So...
Yeah, man. So that's the number one key component. It's the number one key ingredient of somebody who's self-employed. They'll work 80 hours for themselves and not have to work 40 hours for somebody else.
Yeah. I learned that but it's funny. Like it's people say that in a negative context, right? Like when you say that out loud, I think any normal person would hear that in a negative, because I guess it is, right? That sounds bad, but the reality of it is that like the positive side that I think is kind of, if you had to read between the lines, is that because it's so much more rewarding, I would rather work 80 hours for myself, even for the same amount of money, than work half the amount of hours for someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's so much more rewarding.
Absolutely.
That's the part.
So whenever I ask somebody what made you want to work for yourself, that's usually the answer, even if they don't know it.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I didn't want to work for somebody else, and so then I really like this thing. I'm like, no, back up. It's because you didn't want to work for somebody else. For me, that's the case.
Yeah.
Like I've worked 10 times harder working for myself, but I've enjoyed what I'm doing. And if I fail, it's on me, right? It's not on somebody else, and then I don't have to listen to somebody else's bullshit and them run the company in a way that I wouldn't run it. So I like to live and die on my own sword, and I think you're probably like that. That you want to do it on your own.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't like that, and that's okay, right? Like I think I have to have this conversation like with people, even family sometimes, because they're like, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do, and I don't want to take this risk, and I don't want to come at this money. And I'm like, and that's okay. Like, it's not for everybody. It comes with a lot of potential pitfalls. Like, It's hard enough to run a successful business, even if you love it. Like, even if you are wired to be an entrepreneur, it's still hard, right? Like, it's not easy.
It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of passion. You got to be really excited about what you do. Yeah. You have to see something that other people don't see, and you have to be able to reward yourself with minor wins in order to get through the entire journey.
More importantly, you have to be able to offset the reward. You have to be able to delay the gratification for as long as humanly possible.
Right, that's what I mean. Like little bitty things, like, oh great, I got my distributor set up. Oh great, I got my real estate set up, or whatever it is. Little wins that you're not even making money yet.
No,
but they're little wins that get you further ahead. And a lot of entrepreneurs they don't understand that, because they think, well, I'm going to get into business and it's just going to be automatic profits.
Yeah,
like, no, dude.
What? Bezos was famous for not making a single penny for 7 years or something like that, and everyone laughed in his face. Mm-hmm. Right? Look at him now, obviously.
Yeah. So you and I were talking last night. We have kids, and they're influenced by all the influencers. They think that they're going to get online and they're going to do something clever like drop shipping or whatever it is, whatever Andrew Tate is pushing, and they're going to become a multimillionaire or whatever. It's like, no, bro. You might work for 6, 7, 8 years and not make any money. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
And so can you do that? And do you have a job on the side that'll get you through? Because sometimes you got to do your 9 to 5 so then you can have your second shift, 5 to midnight, right? And a lot of people won't do that because they think it's supposed to be easy. It's just not.
Well, like we talked about, it's like, you want to be an influencer. That's cool. That's actually fine. Like I don't have a problem with it. but it has to be based off of substance. It has to be based off of an actual, real, marketable, sellable skill that you've got, right? Like I would call you an influencer because you've got a strong following of people, but it's based off of the fact that you have a very profitable and marketable skill set to back it.
Yeah, people
Right?
try to
It's
get
not,
social.
It's not based off of nothing.
Yeah, you got to get social proof off of your skills. You can't just get social
Yeah.
proof without having a skill set.
Yeah, you can't just come out to the world and be like, hey, everyone love me and adore me just for being awesome.
Yeah, right.
No.
Right.
No.
So you're 23. You know, you got into cigar business, and how'd that happen?
Funny story, man. I was just a kid. I was 23 years old. I didn't know what the hell I just literally gotten married. It was my first marriage, and just gotten married. And I looked at my wife, and I was like, my wife at the time, and I said, hey, you know what? I got a crazy idea. I want to start this business. Cigars is it's like a passion of mine. So how about there's no cigar shop in this neighborhood, in this area that we live in? It's an upscale part of the suburbs of Denver. There's no cigar shop in the area. There's a need for it. There's a hole. Why don't we fill it? Why don't we start something? And I built a kiosk, literally of all things. It was a kiosk, it was a big one, but it was a kiosk in a mall. And she thought I was crazy. The only money I had at the time was I had $5,000 in like a bond that someone gave me as a gift for my bar mitzvah when I was 13.
So $5,000 in cigars and whatever your kiosk was, that's all you had?
And one credit card, I think, which I maxed out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I started small, man. I started, I think all my inventory to get started was like maybe 20 grand or something like that. Maybe less. I don't even remember.
So you financed your entrepreneurial journey on credit cards and $5 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Wonderful. And then, of course, you grew that and you built a cigar distributorship. Then you had to go out and you had to make the sales. You had to go out and contact bar owners and other cigar buyers, right?
Yeah. Well, and actually that is the correct order of events. So then I started my distributorship about a year into starting the first kiosk. And then 4 years after that, I decided to leave the mall, scrap that whole thing, and build it into a much larger thing. So then I built what's called the Robusto Room. It was this really upscale cigar bar. Shut down during COVID, but it was there I had it for 15 years. I mean, we were featured in Cigar Aficionado. We were in all kinds of publications, news publications, all kinds of stuff. It was a really cool. It's like where we were at last night, but I mean, it was a little bit.
Yeah, Fox Cigar Bar.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, cool.
It's a little similar.
So you're still in the cigar business, but you shifted gears. You're now into helping service companies like HVAC companies, roofing companies, things like that, build their company. Can you tell us about that?
Yep. So it's a weird story, but I've told the story so many times it's almost kind of entertaining because when I started the cigar bar, we had issues with smoke. The smoke was seeping out and getting into some of the neighboring spaces, and so long story short, I had to mitigate that issue. I had to try to cure that problem, and in the process, met who became my best friend. He's a guy who became my best friend, and he was an HVAC expert. And he helped, and he came up with some really good creative solutions to help mitigate the smoke issue. And many years later, he ended up asking me, he's like, hey, do you want to start an HVAC company with me? And I was like, sure, let's do it. He's like, I'll be the wrench turner. I'll do all the blue collar stuff. You be the white collar guy. You do all the marketing and the sales and build up that department. And I was like, all right, man, but I don't know shit about HVAC. I barely even know how to turn up my thermostat. That's like all I know about HVAC. I've never built a home services company. I'm sure I can figure it out, but I've never done it. And sure shit, I figured it out. I met all the right people, got the right coaches, took the right courses, pushed the right buttons and pulled the right levers.
How excited about doing that were you?
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No, I wasn't until I saw that it was work, until I saw how cool the business was. It took me maybe 6 months to kind of wrap my mind around like how the business was really operating and how it could be made profitable. And once I saw all those profit potential, all the potential areas for profit.
So once the reward center, when the reward center got turned on, then you got excited.
Yeah. Because then I started realizing, oh shit, this is actually a pretty amazing business. There's a ton of opportunities here. Like the lifetime value of a particular client in HVAC is pretty damn impressive because there's so many different things that you can sell them. In a good way, right? Like it sounds kind of bad, but like no, in a positive, things that can.
Well,
help
they're
them.
built to break.
Things that can help them.
Yeah, they're built to break. I mean,
everything.
you got to work on them. They don't. It's not set it and forget it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. Unlike a lot of other home services companies, I mean, even the obvious ones like roofing and solar, a lot of that stuff is a one and done. You know, I mean, how many roofs are you going to replace for the same person?
Well, insurance companies pay for roofs anyway.
Well, it depends where you are in the country.
Mostly,
Yeah.
most of the time,
Usually,
insurance
yeah,
companies
usually,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance companies are going to replace more roofs than what individuals are. But me personally, I've replaced 2 roofs in my life.
Okay,
And
but there you go, right? Like
yeah.
that's probably unusual. I think the average person probably replaces
1.
like 1.
Yeah, right.
1.2.
So you switched over your career. Now you build call centers
Yeah.
for people that are self-employed in the services business. So
Yeah.
whether it be garage door companies or roofing companies, HVAC, plumbing, things like that, you build out a call center where not only they could handle customer service, but more so they're handling the marketing. They're doing outreach.
Yeah, we can do inbound too, but the main focus has been on outbound.
Mm-hmm.
Outbound cold calling to get your salespeople in the home for generating money, for generating sales, period, right? Like, to me, that's far more interesting than inbound is important too, right? You need to be able to handle your customer service stuff. You need to be able to handle your pipeline. Very important. I'm not diminishing the importance of that. But I think most people don't suffer from that. Most people suffer from a lack of leads, right? That's 99% of
Yeah,
people.
every business owner needs to figure out marketing. And what I tell people is that I don't care what industry you're in. If you're in HVAC, you're not really in HVAC. You're in the marketing business. And if you're in the roofing business, you're not in roofing. You're in the marketing business. You're in the marketing of that service because it all starts with marketing. Now, whenever you go back to the HVAC company that you started, he said, "Hey, I'll do the work, but you go get the business."
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you got to do it. Without that, you can't do the work. So
right.
everybody confuses themselves like, "Oh, I'm a roofer. I'm a plumber." No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're a marketer.
You're a marketer. You're in the customer service business.
You're a manager.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
But
You're the
usually
last
roofing
thing you
one of the
are
last
is what
thing
you
are.
do.
Yeah. That's one of the lowest things on the totem pole is what you do.
Yeah. And I tell some people that, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Dude, if you want to go be self-employed, you want to do really well, you're going to have to be good at more things than just your widget. Your widget is just, of course you should be a good roofer. Of course you should be a good plumber, but how do you get to the market and win that business?" So you're helping business owners get to the market, and you have a call center of all places in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I found that interesting. So tell us what part of Mexico.
All over, man. It's virtual. So my agents reside anywhere in the country of Mexico. We actually have agents in other countries too, in Latin America, but the vast majority are in Mexico, and they're all over. So they work from home. Everyone works from home. That's the beauty, of call center work nowadays, is that it's not like the old school days where you had some sweatshop and everyone worked in a dark, dingy basement. Like, that's not.
So when you say call centers, it could be 50 different people in 50 different homes working.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah. Someone's just got to manage them, right? Someone has to put all those pieces together.
So you contact a roofing company, you pitch them on, "Hey, do you have any outbound dialing in your company? Would you like to see some results of that? I'm Peter. This is what I do." And then what you do is you have people in Mexico that obviously have to speak good English, right?
Yep.
And you get them set up out of their house.
Yep.
And you manage them probably through what? CRM?
Well, both. So
Calendly.
we've got them set up through software, right? Everyone's on the same software platform, so we can monitor that at all times. And then we've got just a really impressive team of managers. The team of managers I've got right now is nothing short of really, really impressive. So these are some really high level people who manage the entire operation. So when you, as a client, let's say if you own a roofing company, right, and you see the benefit in building this outbound telemarketing call center, we're going to manage the whole thing for you. That way you can do what you do best, and we'll do what we do best. But the whole thing is 100% done for you, right? We build and we manage the entire operation. But it is yours. It is your call center. You own it free and clear. The agents work for you. The software is under your name. The managers work for you. You're the one writing the checks, right? Everything is under your name, so you own it, free and clear. We're just here to help you run the show, to keep it nice and tight.
Yeah. So how many calls do you think go outbound for each customer per day? I'm sure it varies depending on their appetite, but in general,
the average agent can make anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 calls, probably, in a day, 1,500 plus calls in a day, and they'll speak to 250 to 300 people in a day. Not all good, of course, right?
How many people talk to 250 people a day?
Each agent.
How? There's not enough time in the day.
That's what happens when their average wait time is 20 to 30 seconds. They're only waiting 20 to 30 seconds before they're speaking to a live human being. That's how efficient and quick the software is that we're using. It's literally a 20 to 30 second delay between a real live conversation. Now, it's not always a good one. It could be go F yourself. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's a real live
There's more fuck yous in telemarketing than there is in anything.
Well, you'd be surprised, actually, that I'm kidding. That actually doesn't
Well,
happen.
I mean...
You'd be shocked. It doesn't really happen. People are actually much more polite than you'd think. They're probably thinking it, but people don't actually say that.
Well, I'll tell you what, whenever somebody calls me telemarketing, I have no time for it. And for, coming from me, that seems a little harsh because I've relied on telemarketing. I've done it myself. I've called more business owners than anybody out there as far as, what I do for a living. So I called business owners and said, hey, would you like to sell your business? And it's usually like, who are you, kid, right? I was young when I was doing this. Who are you? And so I got a lot of hang-ups and fuck yous and don't call me and whatever. And so you'd think I'd have more grace for it. But what's happened now with the telemarketing is it's so out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely out of control. And I've had it be said to me that there was some law or whatever where they can't control it until a certain day. And last night you were telling me that this last year they tried to stop the telemarketing, but it didn't pass.
What they were trying to, so they tried, number one, they did two different things, and then they corrected, right? The first thing they tried doing was completely ban cold calling entirely, and that was through an act that was basically kind of referred to as the One-to-One Consent Act. So what it essentially meant was that you can't cold call, period. That's going to go away. You must have consent from that homeowner in order to call them at all, which simply just bluntly means no cold calling. Now, that got shot down because there was just no way. There's way too many huge industries that would have been.
Well, I would think that at some point it's for the effort to reduce the amount of annoying nuisance calls, but at some point it's also got to be a disruption in the free market, right?
And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So what they ended up adjusting, they adjusted it to say that, hey, we want to ban basically what's called it's essentially a robo-dialer. It's referred to as an ROSNG, a random or sequential number generator. And it's exactly like that name implies. It's literally a piece of software that generates whatever your area code is. Mine's 303 in Denver. It says, hey, pick this area code 303. Go make up a bunch of 7-digit phone numbers that we think are probably accurate, and just start calling like a maniac. And that's what they do during political cycles.
Well, yeah,
right? When they call you to bug you.
Yeah, so if the same people are going to outlaw cold calling and telemarketing, the politicians.
Yeah.
Well, they're the worst.
Yeah. Bingo.
I mean, and by the way, they know who you're voting for. Like, they knew who I was voting for. And so I got hit nonstop. I didn't vote for Kamala. I voted for Trump. And I got nonstop calls from Trump. I mean, it was 4 or 5 a day. And probably a text message or two a day.
Which is funny. You're
and you can't stop them.
Bro, I already voted for you. Like, you can chill out now.
Dude, and you can't stop them. And
out.
So you reply stop. They still don't stop.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And so that's what they are trying to ban now, which I think we can all get behind that. Right? Like, I don't think anyone particularly loves that sort of thing,
Yeah.
So that's really what they're trying to ban now. And that very well, it hasn't happened yet. That's supposed to come up here at the end of the year. So that might happen in January. But
yeah, I was thinking, man, how the hell can this government fight a war in some other country if they can't stop telemarketers? And then a buddy of mine was like, no, it's not that. It's just that there's a law that says that people can use the phone to contact people for business.
Well, super common question that I get is which makes sense in theory, which is that, hey, Peter, why on earth would I hire humans when AI exists now? Right? Super common question. Let me answer it. Glad you asked, right? So super common question. And here's, thankfully the FCC has banned that too, and for very good reason. And a business owner should be thankful that they did, because if they would have allowed AI cold calling specifically, that's what they've banned. They have banned AI cold calling. AI can call everything else, but not cold calls. So if you've got proof of consent, if someone has opted in, AI can call them all day long. That's fine, which I agree. But it cannot be used to make cold calls. Why? Because then it would be completely unchecked, right? Mm-hmm. Because then you don't need humans anymore, right? It's just someone sitting on a laptop hitting the go button, and you can just unleash rain of hell across the entire country's phone systems and just debilitate our phone towers. I always say, there would be smoke coming off of cell phone towers.
Thank God they stopped that. That'd be a mess.
There'd be flames coming out of your cell phone now, because it would just be ringing off the hook nonstop. Because any teenager in Pakistan could just hit the go button. And
so bottom line is, if you want to call and you want to prospect, you can, but you got to be a human.
Got to be human.
Yeah.
Because that you can't abuse, at least, right?
Sure.
There's a limited number of humans, and you can't.
Yeah, if you want it, you got to
abuse
work
that.
for it. I can
You're
get
gonna have to
behind
work
that.
for it, yeah.
I can get behind
And so
that.
it's a good thing, right? It's,
Yeah, right.
it's protected that form of marketing. It's saying, hey, because you know what, if you are using humans, at least you can't really abuse the system all that much.
Right.
Right. It stays within you can keep it within reason. So that's a good thing for business owners because it is a highly effective form of marketing. It works. It's hard. And people always ask me, they're like, yeah, but do people like cold calls? Do people pick up the phone? And my blunt answer is I look at my face, I go, no. I'm like, well, how does it work? I'm like, because I don't need a lot of people to answer the phone for it to be profitable for you. I need like a 0.5%.
Yeah, so get into that. So let's just say I wanted, and we talked last night, I might have you work for me for 90 days and, get a call center running to do some outbound for me and my team. But let's talk about that. So somebody comes and gives you, let's just say a minor fee up front and then pays you whatever the costs are for the 90 days, right? Let's just say you do a 90-day run like you and I were talking. Sure. What kind of results do you expect from that? You expect to get 2 leads, 5 leads a day, 10?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it obviously depends on your industry, right? I don't pretend to have done every single industry. I don't know. I know the industries that I've worked in. So let's keep it within home services just for fun because I know those numbers. Let's say you're a roofing company, right? The majority of my clients are roofing companies and HVAC companies. If you're a roofing company, I can tell you right now, assuming you're not in some really crazy weird part of the country, assuming there's nothing too unusual about your state, which is 99% of them, your average, each agent is going to be booking you approximately 2 to 2.5 appointments per day. Let's just call it 2 for fun.
But is that in a hail area? I mean, if you check the swath reports and you see the hail hitting, I mean, that now you can zone into a certain area, right? What they call a cat area.
Now you get more. So insurance claims, storm-related stuff, we get higher results. I'm talking about retail.
Okay.
Retail roofing. And we do both.
That's amazing that if you guys are getting results off of retail roofing, that's amazing because, I mean, who the hell would want to answer the phone to a telemarketer and say, yeah, sure. And you're like, my roof on my house would probably be, God, I don't know. I bet it'd be $70,000, so you're getting that kind of business from.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I always tell my clients, let's ignore the bottom 20th percentile of income earners. Let's ignore the top 20%. So I may not be calling you.
Right in the middle.
I may not be calling you. We want right in the middle because those are the type of people that are more likely. Well, obviously they could qualify for a roof replacement, but also the top 20% of people are very unlikely to pick up a cold call and even more unlikely to book an appointment from said cold call. So that's why we generally shave off the top 20 percentile. The bottom 20 percentile, I think everyone knows why that gets cut out, but top 20 percentile for that reason.
Well, I think a big part of the future is going to be in blue collar services. I really do. I know that you have an event coming up with Brad Lee, and who else is going to be there? Is it Coach Michael Burt, maybe?
No, I don't think
Brad Lee.
I don't think he's talking that one. Lance Bachman will be talking at that one. Brad Lee will be talking. Those are the two main. Those are the two big speakers who will be there, and I'll be talking at that.
And this is a service business conference,
Yeah,
right?
it's called Services Summit, and everyone should check it out. It's November. I'm 99% sure it's November 4th and 5th. The proceeds are all going to charity.
Okay.
The person who runs this organization is an amazing guy named J.D. De La Rosa. Owns an amazing company called Rufio. Hi, J.D. J.D. is an amazing guy. His daughter had cancer. She survived, and he's devoted his just everything to help kids with cancer. And so he's donating all the proceeds. And,
so you guys are going...
guys like Brad and Lance, they're not taking a single penny to talk at this event. They're donating everything to come and speak to this event.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
So it's pretty cool.
So you guys come together, you talk about how to become successful in the service industry, and different trades are talking, right? So you're going to be talking about prospecting for the blue collar trades.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about how to grow your business and help you, do it very, very affordably. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I think the future is in blue collar, and I was just telling a friend of mine.
Because AI can't fuck with it.
Right.
There's another thing that AI can't fuck with.
Right. It's AI. It's AI proof.
It's AI
Absolutely.
proof. Boom. Bingo. Yes.
Yeah. So I tell people to buy a blue collar business. And I don't know if you know this, but I wrote the book From Blue to White. It's out there. It's out there, but you can take a look at it on the way out. But it's called From Blue to White. And it teaches people how to get the hammer out of their hand and become the contractor and win the business, right? Because that's how I started off. When I was real young, I didn't know shit about shit. So I went out there. I was like, well, you know what? I can go make $30 an hour doing this. I was, 14 years old, mowing grass. I didn't know anything. But eventually I started hiring people to do that work. And then I started doing the prospecting and, handling the contracting part. That's how I started off.
Yeah.
So I wrote that book out of a passion to teach other people how to go from blue collar to white collar, but stay in the blue collar industry. Okay. And that's what you have. You have white collar skill sets in a blue collar world. And that, I think, is when you're really lethal in the blue collar world, when you have white collar skills.
Yep.
So everybody at that service summit, they're going to be bringing more skills than just what the actual trade is. In fact, that'll probably be the least part of it, right? It'll be marketing and scaling and hiring and managing and all that, and CRMs and monitoring your progress and KPIs and all that stuff. So it's like I said in the beginning of this conversation, it's very seldom about what you actually do for a living. It's what you're doing to get that business and to manage that business. But I tell people to buy blue collar businesses because they're AI proof and because it's a needed service. It's never going out of style. And you've got the last 30 years that college has been pushed upon kids. So where are the working men today, right? I mean, working men are making more now than ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're a plumber and if you're getting off your ass and you're going to work every day, if you're a plumber, you're making $200,000 a year right now, easily.
Yep.
And so,
and more people should be looking into the trades.
Absolutely. Welders, plumbers,
yep.
HVAC companies.
Again, not everyone's cut out to run a business. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's so many jobs available right now in the trades, and there's a lot of big money going out there. And eventually, you never know. Like, even if that's, if you're a young person and you're watching this right now and maybe you're wondering, well, geez, is that something I should do? I'm not really cut out to run my own business. That's fine. Start off by learning the thing, and then you never know. As you get older, you may very well love that transition of going from, turning the wrench to putting on that, like you said, going from blue to white. You may really enjoy that process.
Yeah. I really do think that there's more money to be made there than going to college. Go to college, you got the debt, and you don't have a job. Like I said, I was telling a friend the other day, she's like, I think my daughter is going to go to school for graphic design. I said, no, you're going to waste your money. Graphic design with a push of a button, AI's got it done.
AI's already destroying that right now. Yeah,
completely smoked.
I can talk into my phone right now and say, design blah, blah, blah. I can talk into my phone right now and say, hey, write me a whole movie.
Right.
We're minutes away from AI literally generating movies for us.
Absolutely. In fact, I've written
graphic designers.
I've written 6 books, and what does that say about me? I don't know, that I'm crazy enough to sit down and write 6 books, I guess. I'm not John Grisham. I haven't sold 1 million copies of them. But what I can say is I wrote my books before AI was here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that says a lot. That's saying a lot, man.
I sat there and typed the fucking thing out.
At least no one can doubt your authenticity.
Yeah,
when it comes,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the date on that book?
Anyone nowadays who writes a book, I'm like, sure. Wink. Sure you wrote a book,
yeah,
little
sure
buddy.
you did.
Sure you did, little buddy.
Yeah.
Anyone now who writes a book. I'm
like,
okay.
Yeah, man, it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication to sit there and craft together a book and have a point and really provide value to somebody. But now AI is taking over. And so all that being said, somebody says, oh, shit, I need a new driveway. Well, AI can't do that, man.
Nope.
And, I need a new roof. AI can't do it. Plumber, AI can't do it. Now, eventually, can they get robots and shit like that? Sure, maybe.
Yeah, well,
but I don't think it's... I don't think it's going to get to that point.
And you're still going to need humans to operate those robots, and you're still going to... nothing's going to be 100% autonomous. So let's just forget that idea.
Yeah.
Very unlikely.
Yeah, no, so you're in a good industry, and so you're helping people become successful in the blue-collar world.
Yeah, man. Look, here's what I always tell people, right? Like, if I was in a room full of 100 roofing companies and 100 HVAC companies, and I said, all right, here's a question for you. How many of you here need more leads? My hunch is that 100 out of 100 hands would go up in the air.
I need more.
100 out of 100.
And if their hand doesn't raise, they're lying to you.
Then they're asleep on their phone.
Yeah,
they're
right.
arguing with
or
their
they don't
wife
give
on
a
the
fuck.
phone. Yeah, then they're just distracted. Yeah, 100 out of 100 hands should go up in the air, right? Mm-hmm. So clearly that need is never going to go away. And what I'm finding is that in every industry, if you're astute at your industry, you should know what your CPA is, or your CAC, your customer acquisition cost. Pick whatever acronym it is that you like these days. But you need to know what your CPA is, right? You need to know, like, what does it cost me to get one signed deal, whatever that, whatever it is that you do. How much does it cost me to acquire a fully signed, closed deal, right? And that number varies across industries, but in roofing, it could be, depending on where you are in the country, depending on a lot of variables, of course, but it could be anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, sometimes even higher on average for paid marketing, right? If you're door knocking, I get it. That's different. It's much less, obviously. But if you're doing paid marketing, if you're doing Google, PPC, Jesus, it could be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, for one signed deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pay-per-click has gotten out of control.
Yeah, of course.
The last year and a half, Google won't say this, but their algorithms have not been working. Everybody's been spending more for the last year and a half than what they've been getting in return. And Google won't say this, but they've screwed up, and they're giving people solutions on how to fix it. But I literally shut off all of my pay-per-click ads because we were just losing money.
I'm not surprised. So what I'm finding, like I said, is the average roofing company is spending $1,000, $1,500, somewhere in that, depending on where you are in the country, but somewhere in that general ballpark to get a deal. That's their CPA. I'm able to show them, dude, we can do it for you for under $400. I can show you how to get a roofing deal.
To get an actual customer, you can get an actual signed customer for under $400.
Under $400.
Yeah, well, anybody should do it then. It takes me probably $1,500 to acquire a customer.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, now I get it back immediately because I charge them $1,800 up front, so I get it back. But it's a lot of money. I mean, if I wanted to get 10 customers, I mean, I'm going to spend $15,000 or more.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I think once I'm able to show people that, I usually just call that like my mic drop moment, that I literally do, like drop my pen and I'm like, here's your mic drop moment, right? If you've listened to nothing else that I've said, this should be the one thing you pay attention to. It's what is my CPA? And sadly, you'd be amazed how many people I talk to that don't know what their CPA is. Because I always start by saying, hey, before I do the mic drop moment, what is your CPA right now? And I'm not trying to put him on the spot. I'm not trying to make him feel bad, because a lot of companies really don't know what their CPA is, and that's okay. But like I said, a lot of companies don't know. And so when I show them, they do know. They're like, okay, well, I know it's higher than that. I know whatever it is for me,
there's
way higher than that.
There's 33 million companies in the U.S., and I'm here to tell you from empirical evidence, from me doing what I do for as long as I've been doing it, talking to as many business owners as I've talked to, 97, and I don't mean 96, I don't mean 98, 97% of business owners do not know how to run a business. We've got it down to the 97%. We've tracked it over the years of what we do. We look at tax returns every single month. Every day we look at tax returns. And literally we can only help out 2 to 3% of business owners because they don't know how to run a business. So their books are sloppy.
They're not sellable.
They're not sellable. If you were to ask them, like you said, most people don't know their cost for client acquisition. If you were to ask somebody what it is, it's real simple math. How much money did you spend on marketing, and how many clients did you get?
Yeah,
it's a simple division, but they don't know because they're not paying attention to things like that. So like I said, 33 million business owners out there, 3% of them really know how to run a business. And so people like you, people like me that are helping business owners build their business, teaching them, showing them solutions. You're showing them marketing solutions. I'm showing them how to run their business a certain way to where they can ultimately sell their company, or I'm showing them how to acquire businesses that they already are in. So I'm showing roofing companies and plumbing companies and HVAC companies how to acquire the competition, because that's easier to grow your business that way than it is by one more van and one more tech.
And it's funny, you and I are more similar than you think. I do that too, right? You do it in an obvious way. I do it in an not so obvious way. I show a lot of roofing companies, because I'll ask them this question, right? I'll ask the owner. I'm like, what's your goal? Just out of curiosity, like, what's your goal with this business eventually? Do you want to retire eventually? Do you want to pass this thing on to your children? Do you have children to pass it on to?
Yeah, that never works. Nobody ever wants no kid ever wants to buy their dad or mom's business.
I can't imagine. Even if they were to hand it to them, the kids probably don't want it.
No,
right?
no, they don't want it.
Free gift. Or do you want to sell this thing? I would say 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times, that is the answer, that yes, I do want to sell it. I'm like, okay, great. Have you planned for that? Have you actually started really looking into what it takes to be bankable, to actually sell this thing? And they go, no, I have not. I go, okay. Well, do you want to just sell this to like some local mom and pop, or do you want to go for big bucks and go the private equity route? Oftentimes they don't know the answer to that question, but my response to them is, hey, look, if you want to go the big boy route and really get a grand exit on this thing, you're going to need a couple of years minimum, right? Mm-hmm. I can help you do that, right? You come to me because the first thing that you need to do is you need to be at a certain EBITDA, right? You need to hit a certain point of profitability in order to be a sexy candidate for private equity acquisition in the first place. That's what I can help you do.
Yeah. I mean, private equity plays, that's a different deal. I mean, so there's two conversations we need to have real quick. In order to sell your business to private equity, you need to have a lot of revenue and you need to have a lot of profitability. You have to have systems in place. You have to have processes. You have to have people. Most people can't build a business that well. So what I've done in my business, and I'm working with people that have, businesses that make them $250,000 a year, or maybe they're making $2 million a year. They're not making a ton of money. Like right now we're selling a company to private equity, and they're making, what are they making? I think they're making $6 million or $7 million a year. And very few people can get there.
Of course.
I mean, that's not, so while we work with those companies that make $6, $7, $8 million a year net, by the way, net, not gross. Yeah. Because everybody likes to talk about that big number. Yeah, well, we did $10 million last year. You mean gross, right, bro? Yeah. What's your net, man?
Revenue or money in your pocket.
So to make $6 or $7 million net, you're probably marketable to private equity. Really up into the $8, $9, $10 million range. Really marketable to private equity. I'm working with more people that are not there. I'm working with more people that are making $250,000, $500,000, $750,000 a year. Because I can sell that company for, say, 3 times net, so I can put a couple $1 million in their pocket, and then I show them how to get to that private equity level by taking that liquidity and buying what I call the NLB, the next larger business. Now, if you take $2 million because you're making $700,000 a year now, but you're tired of what you do, you're not passionate about it, I sell that company, I put $2 million in your pocket. Well, if it only takes 10% to buy a company, you can buy a hell of a company with $2 million. Yep. But what people often get caught up with is, well, that's not enough money to retire on. And $2 million is not enough to retire on, for sure. So push it forward and build that next larger business. So absolutely. So everybody understands it when it comes to their car. Everybody understands it when it comes to their house. But nobody understands it when it comes to their business. They get frozen like, oh, really? You can do that?
Yeah, you can use the proceeds of the sale of your business as a down payment for the much, much larger, for a business that's now worth 10x what your investment was for it. And now you got retirement money.
Yeah, I've sold businesses for guys that are making $200,000 a year, and I've gotten them to where they're making $2 million a year.
So you're one transaction away from
away from wealth.
Yeah.
All you have to do is sell your company.
Life-changing.
Yes, life-changing wealth. Yep. Sell your company. As long as you have a good broker behind it, a good consultant behind it to show you what to do, then you can do it. But there's a lot of guys out there that own a small roofing company, own a small plumbing company. They're making $300,000, $400,000 a year. They're getting tired of being the owner, and they just would rather go work for somebody. I can sell their company. They can go work for somebody, or they could take those proceeds, buy a bigger company.
That little trade-up action.
Yeah, buy a bigger company, and a bigger company comes with less headaches.
A bigger company that's already managed, a bigger company that already has managed professional management in place. So you're not even the schmuck pulling all the levers.
Exactly.
You're the investor now.
Exactly.
You're just the investor who's sitting back and cashing checks.
Yeah. So what would you tell the audience? What would you tell my listeners? If they're in the blue collar world, they're in the services business, and they want more marketing, they need more marketing, they need more leads. $400, let's just say $500 to get a client. What would you tell them to do? Look at their budget and say, "Hey, man, what are you spending right now? I can beat it." What do you How would you tell me if I owned a roofing company? How would you tell me, "Hey, I'm Peter. You want to work with me? This is why."
I think any home services company that I'm talking to who's got 2 or more salespeople, I can probably even work with you if you have 1. I don't like it because I think that's just risky for just a single man operator, because we're going to fill up your calendar pretty fast and overwhelm you, honestly, seriously. But if you've got 2 sales reps, I think any home services company with 2 or more sales reps can 100% afford a call center. It is not cost prohibitive to get started. It's nothing crazy. We're not talking $50,000. No,
Yeah.
we're talking pennies compared to that to get started. I mean, you can get into a call center for about 10 grand or less, right? A fully managed, professionally set up, high performance. I'm not talking a makeshift, hey, I went and hired a couple VAs from Philippines. I hope they work out for me. Yes, you can do that, right? Like if you wanted to, here's my world's quickest advice. There's four components that you need to build your own call center. So if you really want to roll the dice and try to do it on your own, you can. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's just like anything else in life, like anything else in business. It's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and you're probably going to lose a lot of money in the process while you're trying to figure it out. So the question is, like, what form of currency do you want to use? Do you want to just pay money now to have it done right and spend a little bit extra for that level of elite professionalism to make sure it gets done right the first time and ensure that you're not going to make mistakes and fall down along the way? Or do you want to pay with your time? Right, and you're going to pay with whatever form of currency you value the least.
Time versus money. I mean, how can you distinguish it? I mean, I'd rather pay to have it done than for me to work and do it myself because now I'm doing double the work.
Yeah, and it is risky. And you know why? Because I was there. Because I didn't get here. I didn't get here because someone handed me the manual to how to build a successful call center. No. I did the thing that I'm telling you about right now. I learned through trial and error. And it was a lot of expensive mistakes for me to get there. But I didn't have a lot riding on the line because I had multiple businesses, so I could withstand the storm. So not every company isn't like that. Most owners don't have multiple businesses. They're reliant on their one main revenue stream. So you can't risk fucking with it because if you do, the whole thing can blow up in your face and now you lose everything. Mm-hmm. That's a really risky proposition. So once again, you got to choose, like, do I want to pay with my time or do I want to pay with my money?
Absolutely.
And whichever currency you value the least is the one you're going to choose to pay with.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a real good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, time is money, man, bottom line.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything that's below my skill set. Okay, so obviously managing call center, making the calls myself, any of that stuff.
Sure.
I tell people, hey, man, if you're holding the hammer, you're going to get paid as much as what a hammer holder would get paid. It's just a law. So if you're doing secretarial work, well, you're going to get paid that too. So you better be doing higher level work if you want to get higher level pay.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so tell me about the dialect. Tell me about the language barrier, because whenever you told me that you have people calling out of Mexico, I thought, man, what about the language barrier? Because when I think about call centers, I'm used to the Philippines, and I have a hard time understanding them. But You're telling me that these guys are right across the border. They're in Mexico. They're working for less money because of the
currency,
dollar,
because of
the exchange rate,
the wage rate.
Yeah, right. The wage rate, and they're probably working their ass off, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that's.
They're probably grateful for a job. Is that right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing I always tell people. It's like the average person in Mexico who has two major things going for them. Number one, speaks perfectly fluent English with minimal to no accent whatsoever, and there's a lot of them. Believe me, there's a lot of them. I mean, that's our thing, right? That's our specialties, being in those communities of finding the people who don't have much of any accent at all and speak perfectly fluent English. So that's number one, language. And number two, they got to have experience in the thing that you sell. So if you came to me and you wanted to build a roofing or an HVAC, whatever call center, I would go out and we would find people that already have experience selling that thing, booking appointments for HVAC or for roofing. So they're already going to have experience. And then we're going to continue to nurture and train them even further. Those people generally in Mexico work for about $7 an hour. So there you go. That's what you can expect to pay. Wow. About $7 an hour.
Yeah.
We don't make a profit on that. That's a big thing I want people to know. You pay the agents yourself directly. You're not paying us some middleman fee on top of that. That's real bad because when that happens, pay attention. This is important. When that happens, you're now incentivizing the call center company, aka guys like me, to go out and source low quality agents for you so that we can pad our profits on top. AKA bad appointments for you. That's a recipe for disaster. So you don't want that. So even if you don't hire my company, that's fine. Right? But whoever you do go to, ask them, how do the agents get paid? Do I pay them directly or do you pay them? And if they say, oh, no, we'll take care of that for you, then I can guarantee you 100% of the time they're pocketing a profit on top of that. They're underpaying the agents. They're keeping a percentage for themselves. Right. Which means they're incentivized to go get you low quality agents.
To be clear, though, you're just taking an upfront fee. You are. Let's just say you're taking a $5,000 or $7,000 fee upfront or $8,000, whatever it is, depending on the customer you're talking to. You're like, hey, give me this money. I'll get it set up for you, and then you're going to pay them direct. That way, it's based on. It's not based on greed. It's based on integrity. Like, hey, here's your
for the customer.
Right, here's your customer. Right, here's your call center. Work with them. You're not paying me as a middleman. I'm not making more money off you as we move forward. Yep. You just paid me to set this thing up.
You just pay me to set it up, and if you want me to manage it for you, I'll even manage it for you too.
Yeah.
We provide that as an option. It's an option.
Okay.
I mean, everyone does it, honestly.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. And I have one guy that doesn't do it. He's got his own guy, and that's fine. But every single one of my other clients all chooses to have us manage it because we're extremely affordable. We charge the same rates out of Mexico, so to manage.
So $7 an hour. Let's just say I had 5 of them working for me. Let's just say, how am I paying them?
You can. There's a bunch of like online payment platforms. Think like Venmo and Cash
Oh, okay.
App,
So
they're
you're
just for international.
Okay.
It's not the ones you've heard of. There's no Venmo. There is no Cash App for international. But there's the equivalent of. There's like 20 or 30 different international payment. There's a lot.
Okay. All right. So, so I get 4 or 5 people calling for my team every day. They're bringing in leads for me. For me, I can't imagine you getting me under $400 or $500. But let's just say it was under $1,000, it'd still be well worth it to get a client for under $1,000. So I'm paying them direct by the week. I pay them every Friday, or
yeah. In Mexico, agents always work by the week. It's not like here in the U.S. where everyone gets paid every 2 weeks. There, and especially with call center work, they're paid weekly.
Yeah,
so you just pay them. They work first, and then you pay them for their weekly work.
Now let's talk about this again. So you got the service summit coming up. You got the service summit. Bradley, what was the other guy's name?
Lance Bachman.
Lance Bachman. Okay, they're speaking, and it's November 4th and 5th.
November 4th and 5th. Yep.
Where at?
In Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yep.
Okay.
At the Omni Hotel.
Okay, at the Omni Hotel.
Yep.
All right, cool. So how does my audience find you?
My website, it's scalifyco.com. It's SCALIFY. I had to think about that. CO.com. So
Scalifyco.com. www.scalifyco.com.
That's it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then you just go there. You can read all about everything that we do. You can see all of our customer testimonials, all that fun stuff that you need to see. And if you want to book a call, you click the button, you schedule a time, and me or one of my sales guys will hop on a call with you. I'm not going to take much time. I'll walk you through everything and show you what might work well for you. We are not pushy salespeople. I don't expect you to say yes. If you take your time, think about it. It's not how we do things. I'm a relationships guy. We talked about this.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about relationships, right? If the relationship is good and the value is there, the money will come. Right? We'll both make it.
What I tell business owners is you're going to have to take a risk somewhere. Okay. Now you got to put, if you want to market on Google, pay-per-click, that's a risk. You know, you want to do mail marketing, that's a risk.
You know
Facebook marketing, that's a risk.
You know what else is a risk? Doing nothing.
Oh, that's a bigger risk than anything.
That's the biggest risk of all.
Yeah, but you got to take a risk. So I already talked to you about it.
I'm doing the same shit you've been doing all along. That's the biggest.
That's the biggest risk. Yeah,
is taking no risk at all.
Right. So I already told you I'm gonna go ahead and do it with you. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a 90-day run. See how it works.
Okay.
Because I know that you can't judge it for 30 days. You can barely judge it for 60 days. You got to give it a good 90-day run.
You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Well, I'm already
nod my head in agreements with you, but I'm telling you, I'm a big believer in under promising and over delivering. I do that in every part of my life, almost to the point of fault. But wink, wink, I promise you it'll be better than that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I've been around long enough, done a lot of marketing, that if I do something once or twice or 3 times, I'm going to say, okay, maybe we need to shift some things, make some adjustments, whatever. You know, I look at 90 days or 120 days. I don't look at the first month.
And you're right for almost every other form of marketing out there, like running ads for sure. Like ads, if you're not doing 90 days, don't even spend your money because that's a total waste. So yes, with ads for sure, but I'll show you with this one, we can compress that time down to 30 days or less, especially if you're like, you know, if you actually give a shit and you pay attention and you're involved and you make quick little minor adjustments on your end, which doesn't take much. It's just like, you know, hey, what do I do when I get a booked appointment? I can't close the deal for you. Right? I can't. As long as you have a good system in place for managing
you can bring a horse to water, right?
Yeah. Like if you have a good system, as long as you have a decently organized system for managing your pipeline, you'll be fine. You'll be surprised how many people I talk to that don't even have a CRM.
Right.
This happens more than
That's what I'm saying. 33 million business owners, 97% of them don't know how to run a business.
Those people, I have to have a real heart to heart with them. Because they want to do it. They want to do it, right? They want to cut me the check to get started. And I'm super honest to the point of fault. I tell them like, dude, I'll take your money. But
you're not ready.
I want to do what's right for you.
Right, yeah.
Please go and get yourself a CRM. Here's a few suggestions. Pick whatever you like. I'll give you some pointers. But like, you're going to need something to manage this lead flow because it's going to be a lot. Don't think for a second, I didn't get to this point out of lies. I didn't get to this point making shit up. Like,
right.
I got here because the shit works. So, like, please, like, when I tell you that you're going to get a
Yeah,
lot of
you can't-
appointments, you're going to get a lot of appointments. And what are you going to do when you get overwhelmed with them? You're not
You
going to
can't have sticky notes, man.
You can't have sticky notes. Yeah, this pen and pad is not going to cut
Those
it.
days are over.
Yes, pen and pad ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, man. Well, cool. Well, guys, that's it. Peter Roth here. And guys, you heard what he does. He's a great man. He's doing it right. He's showing business owners how to get more leads. You want more leads, don't you? I know I do. I've been in the blue collar services for most of my life. I've built them. I've sold them. I've helped other people buy them. I've helped them sell their companies. Guys, there's more money in blue collar right now than there is in anything. The average attorney makes $116,000.
Shitting me.
But nowadays, a plumber can make nearly double that. So if you're wanting to get more leads, you're wanting to get into the services, college didn't work for you, you're not alone. But you're going to have the marketing and the leads in order to have a good business. That's where Peter can come in. Go to scaleifyco.com, book an appointment. There is a cost. You might pay $5,000, maybe $7,000, maybe $8,000, depending on what you want to do. And then after he gets it all set up for you, you'll be paying them directly, the ones that are calling for you. You have to have your shit together, though. You have to have a CRM. You have to have systems. You have to be ready for the lead volume. But, guys, that's business. You should be doing that anyway. Anyway, Peter is here to help you. Again, go to www.scaleifyco.com and book an appointment with Peter. He'll be glad to help you out. Thanks for coming, Peter.
Thank you, man. I appreciate this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool.